to do a video on everything that's been going on with me. Well, for one, I'm feeling a lot better. Um, I guess it takes time to flush everything out your system, out your body. But I really, at this point, understand holistic medicine. Holistic medicine is, I hope this video is not too low, but holistic medicine is whole body, mind, and spirit. One of the things I've learned is that I don't care what food you eat, I don't care how much exercise you do. If you don't heal this, none of this gonna heal. You gotta heal your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because if you're writhing in your mind, that's gonna affect your body. And it's not easy to get all the garbage out of your brain. It takes years, but it will start to happen. You have to think, if you're 30, 40, 50, it took you 30, 40, 50 years to get how you are. You think you could just say, no, I'm done. And just that easy, your mind is fixed. It don't work that way. It does not work that way. You must consciously, well, first you must admit how fucked up you are. And I think that is the biggest problem most Americans have, especially black Americans. We cannot admit that we are fucked up. Not messed up, fucked up. This country has destroyed us. Mostly all of us are dealing with PTSD, some level of PTSD. Some level of post-traumatic slave disorder. And I say mostly black people because it's not just us. If you grew up in the United States, you grew up with immunizations that is unnecessary. You grew up with fake food, GMO. That alters your DNA. If you grew up in a city, you grew up ingesting so much pollution. My sister's a nurse, and part of her schooling, they had to do an autopsy, like it's at the end, your intern or whatever you do. And the guy, was pulling out the different parts of the body, and he asked the class, how many people in here think this guy is a smoker? Every last one of them said yes, because his lungs were black. And the guy said no. He lives in Atlanta. Breathing all that smog, pollution, and over years, you think it's not going to affect you? You think that that's not poison? You think that what happened in Flint is not happening everywhere? It's already been proven 47 states is testing positive for lead and chlorine in the water, or fluoride. I want y'all to research the Holocaust and how they doused them up with fluoride. Because why? Fluoride keeps you docile. Why do you think we want to forgive and forget so much? But we can't forgive and forget our own people. We will be getting beat down. The crazy thing is, I know somebody who's marrying a white guy now, and I'm not saying that there's something wrong with marrying outside of your race. You do whatever you feel good in your soul. But you have to think, why are you marrying outside your race? If you're marrying outside your race because you met somebody and y'all just clicked, but if you're marrying somebody outside your race and the only things that ever come out, I'm not attracted to black guys, they're just not attractive to me. If you're marrying people outside your race and you're like, well, I hope my baby gets the hair, you're gonna fuck your kids up. Because right there, that mindset says there's something wrong with you and you want to remove it from you. You cannot think that you're mentally sane and healthy with that thought process. If you feel that something's wrong with you, then you need to heal that within yourself. And growing up in the United States, I get it. Trust me, I get it. We're taught that anything dark, black, coily is bad, disgusting, dirty, violent. That's what you're taught. While every day, so much violence and disgusting vileness is being done to us by others. But we will continue to say, I don't fuck with niggas. That's why I don't fuck with black people. We will continue to say this ignorant shit. I hear some people saying. But you'll go to Walmart every day getting fucked over. You go to Kroger every day, and yeah, you are. Because if you're buying that food, you're getting fucked over. That's some disgusting shit they sell. Ice cream that doesn't melt. That's not ice cream. If it does not melt, that's not ice cream. Everything is GMO. If you're buying food and your food is not your produce and your fruits, your vegetables, if it's not spoiling or starting to spoil within about 3 or 4 days, it's not real food. Once you cut food, once food reaches its full maturity, it starts to go backwards, whether you cut it or not. Now, leaving attached to the root helps it to sustain longer. But once you cut that fruit, it starts to spoil. Real food. Cut your blood off, see if your body don't start to deteriorate. Cut your brain off, see if your body don't start to deteriorate. And that's the stuff I mean. How can you think that it won't? In the States, we've got so accustomed to shopping for the month. Now that I'm here, that sounds so insane. That was me going shopping for the month, and the food would last. When I first moved here, we wasted so much money because we were trying to shop for the month. That food spoiled so fast. Oh my goodness. I mean, it just, few days. It doesn't last. So you have to go shopping every few days. That's another thing about the lifestyle that keeps you healthy, because you have to either walk or bike more likely than not. Now, they do have cars here, motorcycles, but the vast majority of people bike and walk. It's part of their lifestyle. Everything they do is manual. So you're always exercising without exercising. So one of the things I've learned, you gotta change your lifestyle. That's part of holistic. You recognizing that the culture you grew up in was wrong. Recognizing that your parents were taught wrong. So they didn't mean harm. They had good intentions. But the pathway to hell was paved with good intentions. They were only teaching you the fucked up bullshit that was taught to them. They didn't know no better. But once you learn something, you can't unlearn it. It's always going to be here. But we're taught to just accept what's being told to us by the experts, the professionals. We don't do critical thinking. We don't think logically about everything that's being told to us. And they're saying no question is a dumb question. Ask a question to see how people get pissed off. People don't like you asking questions. And I was always the question girl. I need a clarification, because if you're telling me some bullshit that don't make sense, I can't accept it. I don't care if it was the best thing for me. I cannot accept it because I don't understand it. And if you can't explain it, what is it that you're believing in? What is it that you're professing wholeheartedly? And I find that the most in religion, people, we have been brainwashed into believing the only way to worship God is to go to church. And if you're not in church, you're a heathen. You're not worthy. Because when you go to church, you're blessed and highly favored. Really? Just going to church makes you blessed and highly favored. You ain't got to be no Christian. You just got to go. You just have to have history. I've been going to church since I was little. Mama took me to church. Grandma took me to church. We all went to church. We were raised right. I have found more hateful behavior, backbiting, lies, snubbing, and just immorality in the church. So when you see the vast majority of it is just no. You have to look at it as a whole and what's being taught. So if I'm living a life where I do not fornicate, I do not lie, I do not steal, I help others, I love others, but I don't go to church, how am I worse than someone that goes to church? And let's say they don't lie, they don't fornicate, they don't steal, they're nice and kind to people, but they go to church. The difference between us two is I don't go. But how does that make you better? How does that make you closer to God? How? No one could have explained these things to me, so I cannot accept them. How does saying I accept Jesus Christ as my Savior, but yet I continue to do the things that I've been doing make you better? Why are you putting your faith in another person? You know, I say to myself, the Bible is written by man. Oh, yeah. But they got all their verbiage and everything in the Bible they got from ancient Africa. It's written on the walls. Ancient Africa had no word in their vocabulary, none, in no African language, and there's hundreds for Jesus or Jehovah. But people will, his name is Jehovah. Really? Really? That's the thing that always bugged me about religion, is that they tell you one thing, but they show you something different. You tell me Jesus has hair of wool. You tell me he has skin of burnt copper. But yet you show me this blonde-haired, blue-eyed person. Help me to understand that. Please. Help me understand that you believe so wholeheartedly in the Bible, and the Bible tells you that Jesus was a spirit that came to earth in human form. And we were made in his image. But we cannot accept that we are spirit beings here in human form. Help me to understand that. Do you believe, or do you not believe? Or do you just believe what the pastor tell you? Because it say it in the Bible. that we are made in his image. It also says in the Bible that if they eat of the true of good and evil, or depends on what version you're reading, the tree of life, some say the tree of life, that you will surely die. But you have another version that says they will know they are gods. Now, you have to decipher. How can you say Christianity is right, but you have 100 different versions of one thing? Which one is right? I can't understand that. Help me to understand. If your religion is true and just and the right way to go, you should be able to explain it. If you're advocating for it, you should be able to explain my questions or direct me to where I can find the answer. Because maybe you've been searching for that answer too. I'm trying to understand, how can you believe a story about a man who came to earth, a spirit being that came to earth in human form to save us from what? You say God made us perfect. He couldn't have. You have to critically think about what's been taught. God made us perfect, but just like that, Eve ate the forbidden fruit. So she wasn't perfect. Because if she was perfect, then she wouldn't have did that. That doesn't make sense. Critically thinking. And then just like that, because she did it, all of humanity is doomed to hell. This just loving God, that's just. In your brain, that's just. So basically what you're saying, that if your parents did something evil, then you should suffer for their sins. Really? But colonists are not held, the descendants of colonists are not held to that standard. Help me to understand. I mean, I'm so serious. If you can explain that to me, how does that work? Only for this, but not for this. I can accept it. But you gotta explain it. You can't just tell me something. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'm saying. This is critical thinking. We have to critically think. How can you take your children to a picnic that displays burning another human being, hanging them, and they're cheering and chanting and eating comfortably, like this is just warms their heart? And you think you're not fucked up by that? You think that does not give you trauma? Because if it don't, it says something about your humanity or lack thereof. That's the biggest issue in the U.S. No one wants to admit that they're fucked up. That country is fucked. You cannot sit here and tell me that you can sit every day and watch innocent unarmed black man gunned down again today. Innocent unarmed man gunned down. Innocent unarmed, and not be affected by that. It doesn't have to happen to you. It doesn't have to happen in your neighborhood. But you can't sit here and think that this is normal. You cannot sit here and think that it's okay to say that this black girl or this black man has said something ignorant to you, and you must now cut them. But this white man has fed you demon food that's fucking up your body. That's why everybody's so fat and sick. But you don't hold them as accountable for that. I'm trying to understand. I'm truly trying to understand that mentality, that thought process, that everything about you must not be forgiven, but everything about them must be forgiven. That is the only way you can prove you're not racist, which is insanity. Because if you have no power, you can't be racist. I'm trying to understand, critically think about this stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me, and something doesn't make sense to me. That's one of the things I love that my father instilled in me. Question everything. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Because if you think logically, why is it, and I want y'all to do your own independent research, why is it that 67.9% of all violent crimes are committed by white people, yet we're considered violent? Why is it? Do your own research. Don't reject what I'm saying immediately, because that is willful ignorance. Why is it that white men rape more people than every other race put together in the motherfucking world, but yet we're considered rapists? I'm trying to understand that. You gotta understand, we're taught how to think. If you keep putting these images, if you keep seeing these images ever since you're a child, keep seeing the images, it becomes normalized to you. That's why this younger generation doesn't understand the older generation. When we look at Nickelodeon, Disney, and these shows, and everything is gay, everything is, and not to say that gay people should not be treated with respect. Any person should be treated with respect. But don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to behave. I behave the way I want to. I'm free. I'm free. But they put these suggestions. They show you somebody marginal looking. Beautiful, they're beautiful, they're beautiful, they're beautiful, they're beautiful, they're beautiful. You hear that a few times. After a while, you start thinking, this is what beauty is. Every time they put a black woman on TV, she's a beautiful black woman. She ain't just beautiful. She's a beautiful black woman. So that means that is her box. I'm so glad that my father was like, turn that idiot box off when we were young. We didn't get to watch TV like that. Because if you do, what happens is, what you're seeing is, white women are so sweet and loving, and bad bitches, boy, because they fight every day, skinny and helpless, but they can fight, boy. They can tear up men, women, dogs, cats. Oh, and they always come to save the world. But you don't see that in reality. Then when they put black people on TV, we're servants, we're maids, we're janitors, we're thugs, we're, and my thing is, I blame us. Why the hell are you taking those parts? I'm so into fuck them and have your own. Now, when I say that, I know people are like, oh, that's right, nah. Because white people, you getting fucked over too. But you just refuse to see it, because they've put this thing in our country where you can't like people that are not like you. You must think there's something wrong with them. I gotta get out this sun. Ooh, it's starting to get hot. It feels good when it first comes out, but Lord, it starts to get hot. But yeah, it's like, why do you think before 1950 that cancer was a white person's disease? You think they weren't experimenting on their own people? Why do you think that y'all always got the weird diseases? The weird shit. We used to be like, what the fuck? It's because they were pumping y'all up full of shit. Don't think it just wasn't happening to us. But it happens to us on a larger scale, and then they put it on TV. Think about this. The number one sex trafficked is young white girls. But no. We must not talk about the bad things about that race. Because somehow That equates to racism. So now these young white girls, no one knows about, and they just gotta suffer. Because it's racist to say bad things about white people. That's the truth. Are y'all beginning to understand the psychology in this insane thought process? The truth is the truth, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Everybody has no problem. They feel so comfortable because it's constantly said. Talk about this black on black crime. A myth. And I say it's a myth because there's white on white crime. Everyone commits crime in their vicinity, in their comfort zone. In every race, every culture, there's that 10-15% that ain't shit, ain't gonna never be shit, just worthless. It is what it is. But for some reason, with us, it's black people, as if we're all the same. We write from the same book, we read the same things, we watch the same movies, we listen to the same movies. That's the thought process. You know, when I was in the military, I remember, and this sounds stupid, the instructor kept calling this girl East Side Boys. Now, granted, this was in 2003. Yeah. Her last name was Little John. Well, I'd never heard of Little John and the East Side Boys at that time. And finally, we was on a break one day, and I was like, why does he keep calling you East Side Boys? So, now, the military school that I was in was all white. It was me and one other black guy, and then the girl whose last name was Little John, she dropped in halfway through. So it was 2 black girls and 1 black guy, and in the whole school, everyone else was white. The white kids looked at me, and they were like, Lil John and the East Side Boys? I was like, who's that? And they were looking at me like, because the thought process is, I'm black, I must listen to rap. Now, after I found out who they were, I started researching them and listening. Oh, okay. But after hip-hop went out, me and rap went, you know, there's little songs I might hear on the radio that I like, if it has a nice beat to it, whatever. But this what rap morphed into is something that I'm not interested in. When I was coming up, rap was conscious music, telling you about what the hell is going on, what they're doing to us, what to look for, how to behave, positiveness, telling you the music was, even not just rap, just the music in general. Think about the song Black Butterfly, sail across the water, tell your sons and daughters where the trouble lies, begins. You know, think about Sister Sledge. We are family. Have faith in you and the things you do. You can't go wrong. Oh no. These are the words that I heard. Denise Williams, Stacey Lattisaw, all those people back there that sang positive music. You know, the Isley Brothers, Frankie Beverly and the Mays, We Are One. Before I Let You Go. I mean, music that was uplifting, positive, that taught you something or said something good. You know, and then now this music is morphed into like R&B is all this whining, singing. It's, oh, he hurt me so bad. Oh, he doesn't love me. Oh, he did me so wrong. I'm a good one. Oh, quit dealing with him then if he doing you so wrong. But what it does is put people, when you coming up from here and you listening to that, it puts you in the mind frame of that's the way relationships are supposed to go. That you're supposed to have trouble and strife and See, I was brought up with, you have control over your life. Somebody ain't treating you right, just quit dealing with them. You cannot control what anybody else does, but you can control yourself. And that's the problem. We don't want to take that responsibility for ourselves. Damn, these ants. Ooh. We don't want to take that responsibility. It's like a friend of mine, 50-something years old, and you moved out of home when you was 18, but you still blaming your parents. Wait a minute. So you lived in your parents' home 18 years, but you've been out of their home 30-something years, but you blaming them for what? I had to run and go to the bathroom, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, just leaving the United States has changed my mind on so many things, changed my thought process on the way I view things. I see things for what they are. There is no other continent of people who have ever colonized. No other. Colonizing is a disgusting thing. And the effects are being seen throughout the world. But that's why there's this shift. The balance of my eye, you cannot keep doing people wrong and think you're going to keep getting away with it. Ill-gotten gains never last. And I would say part of the problem is us. Now, we have changed the meaning of what forgive and forget means. And that's the problem. Forgive and forget is turned into, you just completely put out of your mind what's been happening for hundreds of years. No. And somehow it means that if I don't forgive you, then I'm hating you, and then I'm writhing inside and it's going to tear me up. No, I don't forgive you because you're not sorry. Because if you were sorry, you would stop doing the stupid bullshit that you're doing. And a lot of times it's not, people do stuff unintentionally. I said this in another video. A young lady came over here. She's a nice girl, but I just don't want to deal with her because she's got that American mindset, and I don't have time for it anymore. I don't want to deal with it, and I don't have to. I think she's nice because she's a good person, but you know, when you have that superiority attitude, you think that what you say is true and just, and you have the right to define what you define, and everyone should accept it. You know, I left the U.S., you know, years ago. I moved to Hawaii because I didn't like what they did to my people. She blonde hair, blue eyes. Indians. That right there is kind of like, and I say to myself, I didn't want to get into that because I didn't want to be like, what kind of Indian are you? What tribe are you from? She couldn't tell you. I know she couldn't. Because everything you do is so white. You don't even realize the culture is white. Because white is not a race. It's a status. Go look in a law library, please. Any law library in the country, and look up what a white person is. I'm white. It's a social status. It means that you are pure and natural to the land that you are on. Now, I know y'all say, oh, but black people all come from Africa. Really? But in the next breath, you'll say that black people are indigenous to every continent on earth. Think about the logic of what you're saying. It doesn't make sense. Let's go back to the Bible. In the beginning, Lord, I can't talk. There was darkness all over the land. In the beginning, there was darkness all over the land. In the beginning, there was darkness all over the land. After the big earthquake, everyone got pushed around, and you started to morph based on your environment, based on evolution. So if curry grows here and that's all you eating, or if you're all eating orange, you think you're not gonna have an orange hue in your skin? If you're in an area where there's no sun, you think you're not going to lose your melanin? When I went to Korea, I began to realize why Asians' eyes are the way they are. It is so sunny and snowy. Even with shades, you're like, oh my God. It's like you can't see. So you think over centuries how all their eyes kind of, because the sun and the snow. I was like, wow. You begin to see. When I moved here, my hair changed. I had the 4C hair, which really is hair that has not been nourished properly. There really is no such thing. When you start to, we have been taken away from us. Everything about us. We don't know how to do our hair. And it's not hard. If you're in the right environment, if you are putting the right natural product, if you are buying some shit out of a store, no. Because if it has more than one ingredient, no. I don't even wash my hair. I get in the ocean and that salt water gets in there and it takes the oils out. Well, not strips it. It cleans and cleanses and disinfects my scalp. I get home, I rinse my hair so good to get all that salt out and get that fishy smell out. And then I put coconut oil in my hair. And I will put essence oils so it can smell, nice. But who told you you have to wash your hair? What is the science behind that? And if I'm doing the opposite, and exactly what they said is going to happen did not happen, I can't continue to believe the bullshit that I read when in my own personal experience, it's totally different. See, and that's the problem. We're in this box. We won't move. You have people who won't go to the other side of town. And all they know is right in their area how those people think, what they believe. You'd be surprised. I've lived, 1, 2, 3, 4 different countries. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 different countries. I've visited others, but you can visit a country and never really get the country. I've lived in the United States, 6 different states, which is like 6 different countries. The language is different. The belief system is different. The people are different. The foods they eat are different. The music they listen to is different from state to state, city to city. And when you move around, you begin to realize that. What means one thing in one place doesn't mean the same thing in another place. I mean, and when you stay stagnant in one area, you don't see that. So you don't experience. People honestly think they're reading all these books, read, but they don't experience anything. You cannot get knowledge out of a book. You can get information. But is that information correct? Living in the U.S., think about it. What have they taught us that was right? So you read a whole lot of bullshit. And then when you start actually experiencing life and getting out there and you realize it's bullshit. It's just, they tell you this because they want you to believe it. I want you to believe that white people are like this. I want you to believe that Hispanics are like this. I want you to believe that black people are like this. And think about this. When I was born, I was black. And somewhere along the line, all of a sudden, we became African American. How the fuck you gonna change my race? First of all, how is black a race? And how are you, if it is, how are you just gonna change it? How are you gonna change my race? And why are you doing it? That's the question we need to be asking. Why? When you ask why, you'll start to find the answers. I realize now why people don't listen to the people that preach on the streets. Because they're speaking truth, but when you first start coming into conscious, you become enraged. Because in your brain, you're thinking like, wait a minute, first of all, you've been lying to me all this time. You're more mad at yourself. But then when your eyes begin to open, like, y'all act like y'all mean well, but y'all don't. Y'all don't mean well. And you begin to really see, and you begin to hear. Like when that girl kept trying to tell me, you start off this talking, oh, well, you know, black people, y'all indigenous everywhere. And then later on in the conversation, I was saying something. She was like, well, you know, all black people come from Africa. You just contradicted yourself. And then how you get to tell me who I am because you read it in a book? Think about that. The logic behind that, or lack thereof. Now, if I would have gently said to her, how do you get to tell me who I am because you read it in a book? How do you feel that you know who I am because you read it in a book? How do you think that would have went over? Because you know the minute white people hear the truth, they go straight floating down that river of denial. I cannot accept that my ancestors are the fucking devil. And I think what it is that they know it, because you cannot sit here and think that it's okay to enslave a person. You cannot think that it's okay to bake people in ovens. You cannot think that it's okay to take children and make them work in mines for free. You cannot think that it's normal to demonize someone, to rape someone while you tell them they're a rapist. You cannot think that it's okay to hang someone and burn them alive. You cannot think that these things are okay. And yes, it is your people that did it. And I know what you're thinking is, do I have some of these genes in my body? Yeah, you probably do. Reality. What have I said that was a lie? What have I said that was wrong? If I did, correct me. Correct me if that it was not white people that enslaved. Correct me. See, and I know people like to say, oh, well, black people. No, no, no. See, the meaning of slave changed. A slave used to be your housekeeper. Oh, that's just my slave. Someone that worked for you. That was your nanny was your slave. Your farmer that came and worked that was your slave. So, but they can leave, they can marry, they can do whatever they want to. But it's flipped. If you're taught that, oh, black people were slaves, this is ugly part of our history. The first slaves over here were white, Caucasian, Europeans. The first slaves were Afrikaans. Research who Afrikaans are. Matter of fact, go to Virginia and go look into the archives and see who the first slaves were. But most people won't do that because they've been told what they want to hear. No one talks about the little Irish children that were forced to work in these mines for free for years. These were the first slaves. And then the more and more Europeans that came to America, yes, you European Americans, you're not Americans. You're no more Americans than anyone else unless you were born here. The only true Americans are most of us, because not all of us, because some of us were brought as slaves. But most of us know Mexicans, true Americans, and the Aztecs, aka Eskimos. Everyone else are foreigners, period. Did you ever think of the psychology of white people coming over here and telling people to go back to their own country? You go back to yours. This ain't your country. Not where you indigenous to. Now tell me I'm saying something wrong. Please correct me if I'm saying something wrong. The Europeans are not indigenous here. Am I wrong? But people will be like, oh, that's racist, without even thinking first, because you can't hear the truth, because that's not what's been told to you for so long, and what's been told to you is what you want to hear. Black people, stop being so fucking naive. Not trusting someone does not mean you hate them. I don't trust white people at all. Period. Historically, what have y'all done? The vast majority of you have gone around the world and fucked the world. There's some good ones, but I don't know if you're good or bad. Why do you think animals run from us? They don't know if you're gonna kill them or not. Why? Because history has shown that people will hunt them and kill them. Are they attacking you? No, they run from you. Is that wrong? Why is it wrong when we don't trust you and don't want to be around you? Why is that wrong? Why is that hateful? I don't hate you. I just don't trust you until you prove that you are trustworthy. Then you're fine. And that's how we are. Once you prove that you're trustworthy, we will welcome you into the fold. But you must prove that you are not a psychotic, non-pineal gland having demon. I mean, it's just, I was raised that everyone deserves dignity and respect. Everyone must be treated with dignity and respect. And if they're not teaching with dignity and respect, you just quit dealing with them, period. How is that hateful? How is that going to affect my health and that forgiveness is for me? It doesn't even make sense. What are you forgiving if the same things keep happening? What are you forgiving? What? Please, someone answer that question. Please. What are you forgiving? I don't understand that forgive and forget bullshit. Forget? Even if you prove yourself, honestly, I don't think I would ever have that full trust. Blame your people. Will I ever treat you disrespectfully? No. Because that's not in my nature. That's not in my DNA. I just don't want to deal with you guys. Sorry. There's some white people I actually like. But you know what? I'm at a point in my life where I need to heal from your fucked upness, and I need to bond with my people first. I will not bond with you guys until I bond with my people first. If that hurts your feelings and make you feel hated, I'm sorry. What's the meme? I mean, I don't get it. If you are not actively speaking out against this bullshit, as far as I'm concerned, you're a part of it. And you're one of these non-pineal gland having demons. And you're probably wondering, why she keep saying non-pineal gland having? Again, do some real research. What do you think happened to the pineal gland during the Ice Age? It calcified. 85% of Europeans during that cold weather. Wasn't your fault, but it calcified. 85%. That explains the evil. Because when you research what the pineal gland does, that gives you your humanity. Living here and interacting with so many Europeans, I began to realize Europeans are not what I thought they were. What's in the U.S.? I don't know what the fuck those people are. Those are some demons. Europeans that come from Europe, they don't behave like this. They don't have this hate. I've been approached by so many Europeans. You live here now? Oh, you were from the States? Good, good. Ooh, they treat y'all bad. But black people are like, no, we're all the same. How is it that they can see it, but you in the middle of it, you can't see it? Do you know how many Europeans come up to me and do the hand rubbing? Oh, I can't show it, but You know how we rub our skin and be like, and they be like, oh, I bet y'all are so much better off here. Oh my God. Or some people be like, are they really murdering people like that? Go find out. That's all I can say. I ain't gonna tell you yes. Go find out for yourself. Yes, cold blood murder. AKA terrorists, AKA police. Please, my people, wake up. Please wake up. Because we are in a slumber. The poison in the food, the immunizations, all you people advocating for immunization, think logically. Does it make sense that the world lived 2,000 years with no immunizations and survived? Because we're here. But ever since we've been getting immunizations, does it make sense to pump your baby by the time they're 4 years old with over 80 different poisons? Does that make sense? Think logically. Does that make sense? And if you immunized your kids, inoculated or whatever y'all say, and I didn't immunize myself, doesn't your immunization keep you from getting sick? Isn't that the whole point of the immunization? So why are you worried about me? Let me get sick and die off. Why would you? You're immunized. You're immune to the diseases now. Isn't that the whole point of immunizations? Oh, wait a minute. But people who take immunizations still get sick. So then I ask again, what's the point? What's the point of giving you a small bit of a disease so that now your body can fight it off? What? So what happens when you get it naturally? Your body won't fight it off. It only fight it off if you put it in someone's veins. Does that make sense? We have to critically think. It does not make any sense to immunize. With all these kids coming up with bipolar, schizophrenia, autism, must immunize, but no one can give you a clear reason why. Why? I don't. Everything that's ever been put in my veins is affecting me now, badly. And I'm flushing this stuff out my veins, so it's slowly coming out, but this is a process. This is a process to get all this shit out your body. Why, until you Christians, why would this loving God put you on a planet and put a bunch of diseases that's just gonna kill you? Oh, no. The devil did it. I understand. The devil did it. And when you look at the definition of a devil, not the picture, but the definition, sounds like man. Mankind. A kind of man. Yeah. Leaving the U.S. was the best thing I could have ever done. Started opening up my mind, my spirit to receive things, to understand how we're connected with this earth, how if you live someplace, how connected you are to earth is that whatever your body needs starts to grow. Everything your body needs starts to grow in your yard. Are there things you have to plant? Of course, because everything is not going to grow. But herbs and stuff like that, they will grow. When you go out to that ocean You will see as black people walk up to that water, the waves start coming stronger. We're connected. I thought I was the only person that noticed that. Then another girl was like, "Oh, you noticed that too?" She said, "I thought I was going crazy." Because you think to yourself, every time I walk to the water, why all of a sudden you're looking at the water like, whoa, it's so flat, it looks like a lake. Then you start walking toward the water, and all of a sudden the wave, and you're like, wait a minute, this is different. But that's how connected we are. You'll see different animals start to come into your yard. It's we have to change our thought process. We have to understand that what we've been taught is so wrong. And until we come to that conclusion, nothing is going to change in your life. You will eventually, everything you need will start to draw to you. We've been drawing people to us that understand that they're traumatized. And they're like, we're all fucked up, so we all gonna do some fucked up stuff, but we gonna heal together. We're starting businesses together. We're buying property next to each other. We're regentrifying neighborhoods, buying up blocks. Y'all better understand, the U.S. ain't where it's at. It ain't where it's at. They make it, what you've been taught your whole life. We're the best country on earth. We're the most murderous. That much I'll say. We're the most sick and demonic. Definitely, we're the sickest. Facts. There's no other country that's sicker than the U.S. No other country enslaves its people like the U.S., aka jail. There's no other country that has the crime, but there's no other country that has the amount of guns. We love to try to point out third world countries. Third world countries is where you need to be. What is third world? I hate that word third world because of what it represents to a lot of Europeans, and Americans. It represents poverty. It represents back in the day. It represents, something that's bad. But what it actually represents is naturales, something pure, something that hasn't been tainted by man. Concrete hasn't been thrown everywhere. Buildings hasn't been put up. Pollution hasn't been thrown all in. The water's so clear. Yesterday I went snorkeling for the first time. I'm looking at these yellow and black striped fish, clear fish. They come up, they swim right around your feet, your legs, and they come to your face and just look at you like, hey, who are you? It's beautiful. When you could just put your face in the water, open your eyes, and clearly see to the bottom. No poo. When I first saw clear water, I sat on that dock for about 2 hours just staring at the water in amazement. I never knew sea water was clear. And that sounds insane now. I never knew. You see it on the brochures, you see it in, vacation spots. But I don't know what was going through my mind. Maybe it's just in that. No. What's happening is we fucked the water up. All the shit we dump in the water. Oh, you think about the water that's went in your mouth. The stuff that's soaked into your skin. Oh my God. The pollution. We wonder why we're so sick. Please, my people, wake up. Know that there's another way. Know that there's a love out here that will supersede all that bullshit in the U.S. But as long as you sit still and take it, nothing's going to change. You cannot ask someone for your freedom, because if they were going to give it to you, they would have gave it to you. You cannot ask someone to pass laws that make sense, that's not going to discriminate against you. You cannot. If they were going to give it to you, they would have given it to you. You must take it with force. And when I say take it with force, that doesn't mean kill them. Although that would help the earth, but that's not what I mean. I took my freedom. I said to the U.S. and I left. You could do what you want. There's no restrictions on you. You don't have to go get no damn pay money to who? Someone that stole your land so that you can do business on your land? No, fuck you. No. That doesn't make sense. This ain't your land. Go back to Europe and do that shit over there. We live by natural law. Read up on the 1,000 Years of Peace before European invasion. Facts. But they won't teach you that in history because they want you to believe they came and saved the heathens by raping, murdering, and colonizing. That makes sense. Think logically, think critically about everything that's been told to you. And you must reject it and get it out your brain. Peace and love.